Welcome, everybody. I am standing here with Jeanine Calabria. My name is Patty Siegel. I'm the director of Three Squares. We put on the Ride for Food, and this year it's the Off the Beaten Path Ride for Food. And one of our amazing partners is Open Table. So we thought we would take a few minutes to introduce Open Table, and we thought the best way to illustrate their programs and the help they give to the community is by being here right at their distribution center on one of their distribution days. So this is a hot and humid, typical New England summer day on a Thursday, and we're so happy that you are joining us. So I'm just going to ask Jeanine a few questions as she shows us around the facility. Feel free to also ask some questions. We have somebody moderating the Facebook Live feed. So if you don't get your question answered now, we'll be happy to jump on after and follow up with you. So Jeanine, tell us about how long you've been here. Tell us a little about the origin of Open Table and just, yeah, how this all got started.
For 30 years, and we like to talk about ourselves as being a volunteer-powered organization and a staff-managed organization. And we have about 650 active volunteers and a staff of part-time and full-time of 7. Open Table serves about 700 individuals or 250 families a week. And we do that through both of our pantry program and our mobile pantry program right now. Our community meals program is on hold during this time of COVID, but the wonderful cooking team at Open Table and all those volunteers are cooking over 400 meals a week of prepared meals. And I just wanted to show Kati how beautiful one of these meals are. Can you imagine going home one night and having this well-balanced, healthy meal with greens, Swiss chard, beautiful chicken, looks like a rice pilaf with both whole grains and regular grains. It's just beautiful. A great meal for somebody to have to bring home every week. We do about 400 of those, and those go in our regular grocery bags now. Instead of sitting down and having a social community meal, our team is now doing this.
That's fantastic.
And one of the great things about kind of the silver lining and having to change our operation is we now have a group of over, probably 20 to 30 new cooks who were cooking at restaurants before. We have David Becker from Sweet Basil and Jasmine, and he's here Juniper doing wonderful meals for us with our team. We also have in Maynard, we have Elwood Peel offering meals. We have the Wayside Inn who cooks there and brings to us. So these meals have been a great mainstay for our other wonderful foods. I know one of your partners is Gaining Ground, and they give us this wonderful food.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, show us more. What's inside?
So if you're doing a home meal, if you are a good cook or if you are a good cook, you can make this delicious meal for yourself. We have cupcakes, some beautiful raspberries from Trader Joe's.
Now, are those rescued or?
Okay. Open Table rescues food, and we also are a strategic partner of the Great Boston Food Bank. We distribute about 44,000 pounds of food a month to people, and that comes from 65% right now comes from the Greater Boston Food Bank, and then about another third comes from rescuing food from local grocery stores. And then about 10% now, it's gone up because of COVID. More and more food donations are coming in from Crosby's Market, the community donation bins, and food drives that we're having. So we have a big variety of food, and that's really important to making our mission. Our mission at Open Table is to address hunger in the local community, and our local community is predominantly made up of Maynard residents, Concord residents, and Acton residents, with the surrounding 22 towns also having access to Open Table.
So you don't limit it just to Maynard or Concord or any other town?
Unusual that way. A lot of times people have Maynard food pantry or the Acton food pantry. But Open Table, is, with our name, has always been open to more than just we're a regional food pantry.
Okay.
The other thing about our mission is we really want to create a welcoming environment. That's part of our mission, and to respect the dignity of every individual who comes in. So how do you do that in the time of COVID?
Yes, has it changed?
It's changed. Yeah, it's changed. So now we are loading groceries, one of these packed bags, into everyone's car. And there's no contact with the individual other than to talk through the window, which you'll see in a few minutes. And that allows us to keep everybody safe. But what is a little more challenging now for Open Table is making sure people have choice. And choice is so important because just like you and I, we probably have things we don't eat or don't like. And then there's health factors. A lot of people that come to Open Table have hypertension, diabetes. So we have to make sure we have foods that can support their health. And then there's a cultural and religious aspect of food that also, if you don't eat pork, you can say at Open Table's window now, our drive-through window, I prefer fish or beef. So there are some choices incorporated in, not the same as doing grocery shopping like we used to have, but now we have at least choices on whether or not you take a produce bag, what protein you might like, and what kinds of other choices we have. You can pick about 5 or 6.
Wow. And that's really, I think that is so important to, you're empowering them. I mean, you're making them feel independent and restoring their dignity and just, making sure that they get what they need and also what they want, which is really important. It's not just you're handing over 3 cans of goods that somebody has dropped off, and you're really thinking very thoroughly and strongly about what they need. So this is fantastic. So back to the distribution, the origin of the food. Greater Boston Food Bank gives about 65%. Is any of that fresh, or is that all shelf stable?
A lot of it's fresh. Their goal was to go 2/3 fresh. So we get frozen food, fresh produce. We have wonderful choices, selections. When the farming, just like all the farms in Massachusetts come in, we have wonderful selections from the Greater Boston Food Bank, as well as Gaining Ground, Drumlin Farm. Many private gardeners bring their food in too, so that's been really wonderful.
So show us around if we could. There are a lot of volunteers here today. We're all wearing masks. Yep.
So in our kitchen right now, the prepared meals that we talked about, we're going to have 400 meals a day.
I'm going to zoom in on this beautiful rice.
Brown rice.
Always gets loud in the kitchen.
Brown rice and chicken, and then frozen smoothie.
I don't know how you guys managed to stay cool in this kitchen. Beautiful. I'm just going to dive into the pot for a second. Oh, that's gorgeous. Ratatouille. And we're going to go back out the kitchen.
These coolers will go out to the distribution area, and each one has a different kind of protein in it. One is fish, one is chicken, one is beef, and one is probably pork.
Beautiful.
Great. Open Table has been able to successfully make this transition is we have our own truck. And having a refrigerated truck has been a real game changer for us, where other organizations might have relied on volunteers to go pick up different places, but then they had to, shelter in place and weren't as comfortable getting out. We're still able to bring our truck down to Great Boston Food Bank. Wow.
Is that a refrigerated truck or just? Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. That's fantastic. Sure, let's go take a look at the refrigerated truck. This can't be a cheap purchase.
State of Massachusetts through Senator Eldridge and our guest at large, Julie Newbauer, helped us get this truck.
Wow, look at that. I wish I could zoom in here a little bit. But those are more bags of what we showed you in detail in the back. And our awesome volunteer packing. Staying cool. Great.
All these banana boxes is what they're kind of the workhorses of any food pantry. We use these boxes to pack them up with light foods. We use them for our food drives to sort And then we also use them to pack them up to bring them to our mobile pantry sites.
Yes, we've seen many of those. The banana box is very sturdy. So we're just going to take the last round. We're going to go through. There's a little backlog here. No worries. You're just going to have to stick with us. And while we're going to walk. We're going to take a little detour here. Outside. And then Jeanine, while we're walking, maybe you can tell us about your jersey. I'm staring at the back of the Ride for Food jersey and seeing the incredible sponsors that also believe in helping the community.
So when I came on as the president of Open Table, it was the second year that we participated as an organization for the Ride for Food. And I think we participated now over 8 years. And to have this opportunity to fundraise with the Ride for Food was just such a perfect combination for me, because I love to bike ride, and to be able to do something I love while raising money for Open Table, but to have an organization do all the infrastructure of putting on that big event, and for us to plug in and just talk to friends and families to support us is huge. It's a big part of our budget. We so appreciate every year having this opportunity. And, you know, you can see how busy we are just running our own facility 5 days a week it takes us now. So to be able to have this wonderful plug-in community of Three Squares New England is huge. And many of our volunteers you saw here today have ridden on our team.
Some cases, yeah.
And we have great leadership this year. A board member and a woman who works on our pantry setup and is now our leadership, Peggy McGillan and Patsy Coffin. So we're so happy that we have this opportunity every year. And this year, wonderful, because all these kids who have lost their sports or their after-school activities have this wonderful accountability structure of participating in the Ride for Food. And that allows them to clock their hours around their schedules, their flexibility. So to me, you know, I love that Three Squares New England, we had the pandemic, they couldn't have the event that mandated to pivot and really make this a win-win. And we have the youngest team we've ever had.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that has definitely opened some doors that we never had before. We always tried to integrate as many people as possible, but on a one-day event, you know, a bike ride where we don't actually close the roads, you know, we're always been very careful in allowing only 14 plus, you know, with an adult supervision. So this does give, and we've seen such a variety of activities from origami to yoga to rock climbing. So it's been fantastic. So thank you.
Let's go see where the food gets distributed.
All right. There we go.
The Maynard Municipal Parking Lot, and the town of Maynard is super supportive of what we do here, and have given us this part of the parking lot on Tuesdays and Thursdays to set up on our facility. And then soon we'll have our guests, as we call people who use our services, drive through to have their trunks packed with food.
Okay, so viewers, stick with me a couple more minutes as we walk around to see how Maynard has supported Open Table. Locked off about 8 parking spaces for the guests who come. So the guests who are coming, has that changed then since the pandemic? Have you seen
a lot fewer of our regulars are coming, and we're having a big influx of new people who probably have been impacted by the pandemic. So it's this way of having very low contact and staying in your car is a very respectful way. It takes stigma. It reduces the stigma of needing some support. And of course, our guests and our volunteers are super, super happy to help us, knowing that this makes a real difference to people who are now concerned. Maybe they've lost their jobs or have less money coming in for hours at a restaurant they're working. This allows them to take that burden of food out of their budget and let us provide that for them so they can use their dollars for other things.
You're doing such fantastic work, Jeanine. This is so wonderful. We're going to come to an end here. We see more volunteers bringing up the prepackaged food. Oh, wonderful. Nathan, thank you so much. You're totally hiding and just disguising yourself, but that's fine. And this again is the municipal parking lot. This is where we're going to end our live show. This has been so informative and just so helpful to really see what goes on and all the different elements that make this happen. So Jeanine, thank you so much. We look forward to, yeah, all right. Hope you hit your goal. And then do you want to leave one message of what people should do? Sign up for the open table right for food team. Just go to our website or Facebook page. Just email info@openTable.org. To the registration right to you. Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Jeanine. Thank you, everybody.